Hi, this is Lada from astrolada.com, and I'm here with Krasi, who is a Babylonian ancient astrologer, and she's doing a monthly October forecast with astrology for October 2018. She's going to lead us through the month day by day. Hi, Krasi.
Hi, hello, Ada. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. As Wada said, we will discuss day by day the month of October. Just very briefly, I will make a short overview of the most important stellar events that we can expect from the month. And of course, they are determined by the beginning of the lunar month. As you know, we always do the lunar path. We follow the path of the moon when describing the month, because the moon is meeting on her path planets and stars. In this way, she's producing events for us on mundane level and also on personal level. Just very briefly, to say that when the first lunar crescent appeared, it was 11th of September. And from there, actually, this particular lunar month started. The lunar crescent was visible in Virgo. Of course, we know this is related to communication, to media, to business. But what was very interesting here was that at the moment of the appearance of the first lunar crescent, Mercury, who is ruling Virgo disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So this is sort of ominous, maybe, event that we cannot skip to mention just very briefly. How I see this to be important for us on mundane level. Of course, this will have impact on the world communication. And since sidereally Mercury disappeared in Leo, we can say that on mundane level, this will have an impact on the media communication, on the way the superiors, the kings, the presidents will address us, the way they will communicate. And probably this will be done secretly. Things will be happening behind our backs. The media will not address us truthfully. So this is just to take into consideration. And also very important is to know that during the period when Mercury will be invisible, we may not really count on very productive communication, negotiation practices, teaching. We may need to involve some extra efforts. So this was just very briefly on Mercury. And then we have a very important event, very, very important event. And this is, of course, Venus. And this is on 4th of October. Until 6th of October, Venus will be only for 2 days stationary. When Venus is stationary, you know what she's ruling? Love, feelings. She's ruling also the money, the presents. We may experience exactly this sort of freezing. No, freezing means like the expected outcomes or the expected development in our personal life, in our love life, might not be as active or as we like. So this is the 2 days.
So things are starting to shift in regards to all those Venus things: money, love, relationships.
Yes, you might have a small slowdown, so to say, during the phase of her stationary phase. Then after these 2 days, she is becoming retrograde. Probably everyone is writing now and mentioning the retrograde phase of Venus. Of course, this will have direct impact on the feelings, on our emotions, on our love lives, most probably on our friendships. And since this is retrograde, putting us back to revise retrograde our relationships, our friendships. This is exactly what we have to do. I don't see a bad thing, the retrograde, as a bad thing, the retrograde phase of Venus. What is not very positive probably, but this is also not the right word, is when on the 15th of October, Venus will become invisible. This will say that she will be hidden in the rays of the sun, invisible Venus. Here we need to understand what this means. According to the mythology, the invisible Venus is a Ereshkigal. She's the third heliac of us, the third, like a different divinity. So because we have Venus as a morning star, Venus as an evening star, and then we have Venus which is invisible.
So they gave for the different phases of Venus very different goddesses, because she acts and the influence of Venus is so different during those phases.
Exactly. So it is very good to understand the nature of this particular divinity, and then we will know what this will bring us. So when Venus is invisible, in the Babylonian mythology, she is the goddess, female divinity, goddess Ereshkigal, and she's descending into the underworld. And then when she's Ereshkigal, she's not exactly the happiest Venus, because she's searching for love. She's wise, and it is known that she's searching for her husband, which we can say this is Nergal, but this can be also Pluto. So
like Pluto and Persephone.
Yes, exactly. So in the Greek mythology, yes, she's Persephone, and there also she's not very pleased. You know, she was kidnapped by
yes. Underworld.
Yes, so she's not, this is a very complex. She has a very complex nature, and you can imagine that exactly this is what she will bring us. Complex relationships, difficulty probably in the relationships, financial issues, most probably because she's representing also the money. We will be searching for love, we'll be searching for friendships, and we will probably not get the most beneficial result until she becomes visible. And this is on, one second, she's becoming visible November, one second, excuse me. Yes, 30th of October. But she will still be retrograde.
So a couple of weeks it's invisible. That will be the most difficult phase of the Venus retrograde.
Yes, because imagine she's very beautiful, she's descending, she's taking off her jewelries, she's walking the path, she's trying to reach the river where the this person who is transporting the souls of the dead will take her on his boat, and she will be in search for her husband. It doesn't mean that she will find him, but she will search. So this is the nature of this Venus. So searching for love,
our soul, or what is in regards to resources and money, relationships. We'll be asking those very heavy questions to ourselves, and kind of probably what's the word? Sorry. But I also know from the mythology that she took off her clothes. So we have to be very honest with ourselves, like the naked truth about those topics in our life.
Yes.
And humble ourselves, because a queen taking off her clothes, it's very humbling.
Yes, but she's very pure, she's very divine, and she's it's the river Eridam that she has to pass on the boat to search for her husband, which she will not find until she becomes visible again. So if we will do business during this period, we may not really expect huge profits. Better during this period, we said again, let me say again, 30th of October, all over the world is the same. We may not really have the most pleasing life with our beloved ones, with the people that we love. So we need to be patient, revise ourselves, revise our relationships, actions, and this is not bad. She's bringing wisdom. This is not negative. This is just a different nature of Venus.
It's a kind of some initiation, some alchemical change within the soul, where we're preparing psychologically for the next step in relationships, and where we have to be introspective and revise and ask ourselves questions and give ourselves truthful answers.
Yes, yes. And also wisdom, yes, exactly. That is why this is very positive for Heliaku fast, actually, yes. Do you hear me well, Wada?
Yes, yes, I hear you perfect.
Okay, okay. And there, the third, I will be brief here so that we have time to see day by day everything. The third important thing is that Mars will make conjunction any moment, I think the next 2-3 days with Ketu, and this way he will activate the point of the eclipse, because if you remember on the 28th of July we had the eclipse, and we had unfortunate events, like if you remember the fires in Greece, the fires in Australia, and so many others in India and all over the world. So I'm afraid that Mars will activate the eclipse point, and we may experience similar events, like for example I had an accident during this time. So we need to be cautious in October. We need to be cautious, like with driving, with taking risky trips, not to be involved in any risky situations. The countries which are very seriously influenced by Capricorn, Saturn, of course, are the Balkans, India, Pakistan, China, Russia, and Greece. You remember in Athens the fires, and so this is the other thing that I wanted to say, that we just be careful while driving and not get involved into any risky situations.
And people also that have important planets on that degree, which was in Western astrology the start of the fixed signs,
Yes.
the first 7, 8, 10 degrees of the fixed signs.
Yes.
Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius especially, and Leo especially. For sidereal astrology, it's
for sidereal, it is the point of the eclipse was the 9th, 10th degrees of Capricorn. Yes. Well, we have good news here, that Jupiter is making square, and this is a good square. You know, also square is not always bad, and I think Jupiter will soften a lot this otherwise very critical point. So I think that even if we will suffer some world unfortunate events, they might not get really very far. So this is my hope, because of the aspect of Jupiter. And by Venus, well, her phase of disappearance might not be very helpful, but still we hope our hopes are on Jupiter.
Yes.
Yes. So now let's go briefly to analyze the month. This was just very brief to give you an idea how to handle the month. So in a second, just to turn the sky. Okay. First, of course, the next lunar month, the first appearance of the lunar crescent, the first lunar crescent will be in Libra, and this will then the moon will meet Venus and Jupiter, and this is very good. It's not that ominous. It will be beautiful for those who have Libra sidereal on ascendant, on midheaven, Sun Libra, Moon Libra. They will certainly experience some very beneficial, maybe financially, if they do arts, maybe also there, if they do craft or any creative work, also there.
That's tropical Scorpios. So those of you who follow Western, if you're tropical Scorpio, you'd benefit from this new moon.
Yes, certainly. And then I'm starting from the 1st of October. On the 1st of October, the moon will be on the second. The moon will appear in Gemini, conjoined with Betelgeuse. And Betelgeuse, of course, first the sign Gemini is related to communication, so this will be very fine in terms of for those who do communication, writing, teaching. Mercury is in a heliac of Mercury is ruling Gemini, and this way Mercury is in the heliac of us. It means he's already powerful in Virgo. And he will be helpful in terms of communication, teaching, business, those who do creative work, those who do literators, those who do writing, any creative work, even spiritual work will benefit a lot from this lunar day. Well, once again, the Venus will be already at that time aiming towards stationary phase. Venus is becoming slower, so she's not really very, very helpful, but still, that is why I don't advise new beginnings, new initiatives, but I'm sure that the routine, the daily business will run well on this particular day. On the 2nd of October, the moon is still in Gemini, excuse me, so the similar things are valid. I forgot to say that to make surgical interventions, operations on these days a little bit risky because of the aspect of Saturn. Well, if it's really necessary, prayers, address the spiritual world, surround yourself with light, but really it's rather not take a risk to do any important surgical interventions on the 1st and on the 2nd of October. On the 3rd of October, the moon has no course. She's void of course, and as such, she's not harmful, but is also not really very beneficial, will not be very helpful in terms of achieving results, doing business. So on this day, it's good to do the routine work and nothing more. On the 4th of October, the moon is in the very spiritual position in Cancer, but is passing the nebula of Cancer and is receiving a Mars aspect opposition. This is quite harmful. The nebula is quite harmful. So I propose on the 4th of October in particular to do spiritual work, to try to do spiritual work in order to enhance intuition, not to take absolutely any risks, because it's not only that we have the aspect of Mars, but Ketu and Rahu are involved. Therefore, stay on the safe side, don't take risks, don't do surgical interventions. On the next day, 5th of October, again, the moon is having course, excuse me. The moon is in the last degrees of Cancer, having very positive aspect with Jupiter. So this is good for the routine business, for psychologists, quite good. They will have very beneficial day. For those those of us who do spiritual work, healing, doctors, this is good. But still, be careful with surgical interventions. The Ketu Rahu aspect is still valid. Mars is still influencing. No new initiatives. Don't advise. Do your routine job. You may have a very good day. 6th of October, the moon is passing Regulus, beautiful, the most beautiful royal star in the heart of Leo. So this is wonderful for you may have some desire to do leadership, to have ambition, to do some new initiatives, to do some new business. I would say have patience, wait a little bit, because the moon is approaching her last lunar crescent, and as such, she's not very helpful. She's not very promising in new beginnings, but she will be wonderful for astrologers, because this part of Leo, we have many powerful stars of astrology, and of those who do spiritual work, who do esoteric work, numerology, astrology, other studies which are esoteric. Also quite good day. You may do surgical interventions. The moon is absolutely not afflicted. You may do. And then we have the last lunar crescent. This time the moon is void of course. So when the moon has no course, we said already, do your routine job, nothing dangerous, but if you do new things, it might not bring any particular result. On the 8th of October, 9th of October, 10th of October, the moon is invisible. And as we said, as such, the lunar god, in Babylon, Sin or Nana in Sumer, is descending into the underworld to decide on the destinies of the dead. So why am I saying this each time? Probably it's just if you feel the nature of the moon and of the planets, you know what they bring you. So the lunar god is not helpful for our business. It's not helpful if you would do any particular work, but will be very helpful if you look into yourself, if you revise yourself, if you do spiritual work, if you try to enhance your intuition. So this will be wonderful. This is 9th, this is 10th. Excuse me, I'll tell you exactly. Yes, actually on the 10th, the first lunar crescent is appearing. And we already said in the beginning, this is happening in Libra. And this is wonderful for those who have ascendant Libra. We spoke about this. Because here in Libra, at the same time, we have very beautiful combination. Well, Venus is retrograde, but we have visible Mercury, Jupiter, and we have the first lunar crescent and Jupiter, quite powerful. So those who have tropical water, Scorpio, will experience beneficial period from 10th October on. One lunar month. Count like 10th, 11th October on until probably 11th of November. This will be quite very, very good period for them. On the 11th of October, the same thing. And on the 12th of October, the moon is entering a very, very powerful sacred degree in Scorpio, and these degrees are powerful, again, intuition, spiritual work, natural healers, doctors, philosophers, psychologists, people which have deep understanding of the human soul, people who do secret esoteric spiritual work. On this day, I don't advise, this is 12th and 13th of October. On these 2 days, I don't advise surgical interventions because this is Scorpio, very special sign. And the moon is too young to be appropriate for any serious, complicated surgical interventions. If you do your routine business, if you're a doctor, psychologist, we said you may have, or artist as well, creative work as well, it will be wonderful. 14th, the moon is conjoining Saturn. Well, this already says enough. Yes, wisdom, it says. It doesn't say anything bad. It just said wisdom. Be wise. Don't take risks. You may do philosophical, deep teachings or learnings because it's happening in Sagittarius. This is a very philosophical, very spiritual, wonderful sign. This is on the 14th and the 15th. On the 15th, even the moon is passing through the Milky Way, and especially the beginning, the head of the Milky Way, beautiful spiritual place. This will be very beneficial for spiritual work. And you can even look at that time in the evening at the Milky Way. Many times it's quite visible, beautiful. Connect with the sky. And no surgical interventions. Still the moon is too young. 16th, the moon is already leaving Sagittarius, but the same is valid. Still, the presence of Saturn and Pluto is quite visible, so be careful with driving, be careful not to enter any conflict situations, it's really a matter of wisdom, because of Saturn, who is the Lord of wisdom. And then this is a little bit critical day. The moon is with Ketu and Mars. Exact conjunction. This is 17th of October. Let's be careful while driving. No new initiatives, no surgical interventions, absolutely not advisable. 18th, the same. On the 19th of October, it's even a night of Mars, hour of Mars when the moon is entering, so let's be really cautious. The moon is void, of course. So we said already, no particular danger, but also no particular benefit. Maybe a little bit risky situation we have again, because the moon is just separating from Mars. So let's be careful on this day, 19th of October. Also, I will repeat, careful with surgical or any other important medical procedures. 20th October is very nice. Is not affected, beautiful in Aquarius, passing through Fomalhaut, royal star of the priest, spiritual place again, beautiful. 20th, 21st of October again, good day for your for the routine work, for those who do work related to Saturn or to Uranus. This will be work with technologies, information, communication. So this will be very beneficial day. And Mercury is still visible, by the way. Venus has already disappeared. But we started with this. You have the timings of her disappearance and appearance. And then on the 22nd of October, the moon is in Pisces. And on this particular day, you know what is Pisces? Empathy, spirituality, philosophical teachings, taking care of others. So this is Pisces. So the day is wonderful for this, for spiritual activities. The moon is afflicted by Saturn, so be careful on this day. No new initiatives. This is also valid for the 23rd of October, though the moon is already entering the last degrees of Pisces. There we have many powerful spiritual stars. So I'm sure that we will be on the safe side if we do what this sign is demanding. Spirituality, connection with the spirit world. Yes, mainly this. On the 24th of October, the moon is entering Aries, and is in the place where Athena Palace is projected. Wonderful, pure degrees, pure. Well, in terms of this, will have impact on our everyday life. Honesty, empathy. This is Athena Palace, the first 5 degrees of Aries. Well, Mars is afflicting the moon here, so be careful on this day. Do your routine work with honesty, and be careful with not to involve yourself in risky situations. And this was, by the way, the day of the full moon. And we each time, maybe just briefly repeat that everyone experienced the full moon differently. Today's full moon, I love it. Other people find it stressful. So it depends. Therefore, analyze how it works for you to know what this day will bring you. See how this worked for you before. So, 26th.
Yeah, see how you feel today. Today is the full moon.
Yes, see how you feel today. Yeah, exactly. Yes, 26th of October. The moon is having exact opposition with Mercury. Mercury is visible. This will have impact, of course, on communication. And since the moon is still in Aries, this may probably has to do with some sort of sharp communication. So we need to be cautious how we do our business, in what way we communicate our ideas, in what way we communicate with friends. If we're careful, this can be actually a very beneficial day, because Mercury is quite powerful as an evening star, and this opposition can have a very positive outcome. So this is 26th of October. 27th of October, the moon is conjoined Aldebaran. We know already, powerful royal star of money, wealth, and even when was this? Yes, beginning of September, I made powerful Aldebaran talismans, which now Jupiter will make opposition, so he might a little bit alternate the nature of Aldebaran because of the opposition to Aldebaran, but still, Moon conjoined Aldebaran is good for the business, for the incomes, for the luck, especially for those who have Taurus rising, or it will be tropical Gemini, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. So this day will be probably very beneficial for them. If you have Taurus rising, Sun rising, Moon rising, midheaven rising, it will be a very good day in terms of profit, business. Still, the Moon is waning. Surgical intervention you may do, but be careful with the new beginnings because Venus is already invisible and she's not helpful in terms of money and profit as such.
Can you launch something that you've been working for a long time on?
Probably not, Wada, because if it's related to incomes, money, wait until Venus becomes visible again on the sky.
Mm.
Even if also wait until she becomes direct again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. On the 28th of October, Venus is conjoined Rigel, another star of money. So again, quite beneficial period, but not beneficial enough because the ruler of Rigel, the ruler of the Venus, is invisible. But still, this could be quite lucky and has potentials in terms of good business. Surgical interventions are possible. 29. Gemini, the moon is entering Gemini again. She will pass through the degrees of Sirius, spiritual star, beautiful. Gemini is related to communication, business, and the ruler of Gemini is visible as an evening star, conjoined with Jupiter. Wonderful. So if you want to publish something, if you're searching for a period to write something, or to communicate, or to negotiate, 29th and 30th, quite fine, quite well. You might have, if you would like to present your knowledge, or if you like to share your ideas, it's all related to the visible Mercury and the moon in Gemini. Well, just a small bracket, we might need to involve some extra efforts because Saturn is making aspect, and he will be, quite long in still in sidereal Sagittarius, and he's in Capricorn, right? Tropically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tropically Saturn.
Yes. No, yeah. Saturn is in sidereal. I would say tropically he's in
Capricorn. Yeah.
In Capricorn. So he's quite so he will be staying there for quite long, therefore keep this in mind. And then on the 31st of October, again, the moon is conjoined Rahu and is in Cancer. Again, Cancer is a beautiful place where the moon is on a throne, powerful, nice, do spiritual, do empathy. If you're a psychologist, wonderful, philosophers, wonderful. Well, Mars is afflicting the moon on that day. So 31st of October. And then also 1st of November. Be careful while driving. Mars is making opposition. Be careful not to get involved in risky situations. Yes. And also medical situations as well. And just very briefly to present, because we completed the month, the talismanic weather, since I got some email. In October, there is no appropriate stellar time to make talismans, but in November, That is a very appropriate time for lunar talismans. And you know, the moon is directly related to our soul, intuition, dreams, especially important for the female health. So in November will be wonderful period for, and I will be making.
I constantly wear the Venus one that you made for me. I even have the symbol of Venus on my
Lovely. I like this.
There's the stone of Venus, and Gracie prepared it for me on the special day, consecrated it with Venus smells. Sorry. So I smoothed quite, I sailed through the eclipse on my ascendant, through Mars, retrograde there. There was some stresses, but way less than what I expected, So, yeah, it's helping. I've been protected.
Yes, I believe so. It works. It works amazingly. It works amazingly. Yes, indeed. Yes. So this is how we complete this month.
Thank you so much, Gracie. Well, actually, it's much better than the previous months.
Yes. People didn't like that we were not very positive, but I would rather stay realistic and try not to inform them about if there are any risky days. Much better to stay alert instead of not. The knowledge is power.
Yes, especially if you have something so important to launch or do that you've been planning for a long time. It's best to know the best days. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much, Krasi,
Pleasure.
for your time. And thank you, everyone. If you want to contact Krasi for a Babylonian reading, basic astrology reading using the actual stars and the rules of ancient Babylonia and Sumer, you can contact her at the link below at astrolada.com. So thank you so much, and I will see you next month again, hopefully on the 25th, like we usually do. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.